Hey guys, so it's me, Dax Moy from Fitness Marketing Made Simple, back here with another short video in the Guru Project series. And I'm here in the absolutely lovely Rainbow Basin, just on the edge of the Mojave National Park in California. I just wanted to take another couple of minutes today to tell you a little bit more about this whole Guru Project business, what it's about, how it can help you, and why you might want to be involved in it, or maybe not. Now think back, can you remember why you started your fitness business in the first place? Do you remember how excited you were at the thought of being your own boss and running your own business and essentially becoming the master of your own destiny and doing things the way you always wanted to do it, without all the fuss and the bother and the bullshit that the bosses you'd had up until that point in your life were essentially enforcing on the way you had to work, right? So you had to be up every day at the time they said, you had to go to work and do the things that they said, you had to work with the people that they said you had to work with. Very often people that didn't value you, didn't appreciate you, didn't really want you to really put your best forward, really. They wanted things their way, right? And one day you decided everything was going to change and you were going to say, screw you to your boss. You were going to go out into the world and essentially write your own ticket, do things your way. And you were really, really excited about it and you just couldn't wait to get started. Do you remember that? When you really stopped to think about it, the whole idea behind that branching out was the idea of freedom, wasn't it? You wanted to be free. You wanted to be free to do things your way, how you wanted, when you wanted, in the way you wanted, with the people that you wanted to do it with, right? Do you remember that dream? I definitely do. In fact, it was what drove me to actually kind of quit the gym that I was working for at the time, branch out on my own and do exactly that. And I'm fortunate that at this point in my life, I get to pretty much do what I want to do with the people who I want to do it with, when I want to do it, where I want to do it, and be extremely fortunate to earn really great money doing what I absolutely love and adore. But here's the thing, none of that really came that easy. No sooner had I kind of branched out on my own, no sooner had I gotten to the point where I was now officially my own boss, things kind of took a turn for the worse. It was like I had a massive dose of real world itis kind of slammed down upon me from a great height. You've probably felt that as well, right? Where one minute it feels like you've got tons and tons of freedom, and the next minute you get to realize what that freedom actually really means. And what it means is that you've gone from being responsible for just waking up in the morning and pretty much training with clients, doing the bit of the job that you absolutely love, to suddenly becoming responsible for bloody well everything. Attracting clients, getting clients, converting clients, keeping clients, training clients, administering clients, devising the clients' programs, and every bloody other thing known to man. Somewhere along the way I was trying to fit in time to train and to eat right and to spend time with my family. And yet all of that kind of stuff was getting harder and harder to maintain. And life was pretty much, as it probably is for many of the people listening to this, pretty much getting crap. It was getting tough. It was getting really, really hard. And I was getting less and less motivated to wake up every day. Pretty soon I found that the freedom that I'd always thought I was going to have, this idea of being my own boss, waking up, having my life exactly the way I wanted to have it, pretty soon I found out that was bullshit. I was working longer and longer hours, met with more and more stress and making, in many respects, less and less money. So does all that sound familiar? Probably does, right? Well, if that does, this probably will too. My cure was pretty much to go out there and try and figure out how all the big boys did it. I bought their list building courses, their autoresponder courses, their AdWords courses, their copywriting courses, their web design courses, you name it. If there was a course out there to buy, I was buying it and I was using it, and to be fair, they worked. They pretty much all worked. Like, I got every single one of the courses to work for me. And I don't know whether I'm some kind of weird freak of nature or what, I don't know. But I got them to work for me and it was great. And I started to make the money I'd always dreamed of. I started to, by most people's standards, become successful. Trouble is, right around the time when I started to become really successful, I also found that I was falling head over heels out of love with my business. In fact, I bloody well hated it. And you know, there was a point where, to be honest, I was pretty much a dick, right? I would measure every single person that I was coming into contact with against the measure that these bosses, these gurus, these experts that were telling me that I was supposed to do things in a certain way. I would measure every interaction with a person through their system of measurement. It really went like this. if they had wallet, if they had a pulse, they could become a client. And it was really that simple. Has this person got the money to spend with me or not? And if they didn't, I'd lose interest really quickly. Like I said, I'd become a dick. See, what I soon realized was that I was no longer the boss of my business. It seemed like I was. There was not necessarily someone standing around me telling me what to do, but I wasn't the boss. I no longer had a boss, in fact, but I had several of them. I had every single guy out there telling me that I was pretty much an idiot for not running my business the way they had said. Why aren't you writing your AdWords this way? Why aren't you building your lists this way? Why aren't you buying traffic like this? Every single one of them had an opinion. Every single one of them effectively became my boss. I'd effectively given all of them the power to pretty much call me an idiot and tell me that the way I was doing things was never going to work. Worse still, started to believe them. And yeah, because of how I was feeling about my business, I was moody, I was grumpy, I was frustrated, I guess you could say at one point I was almost like borderline depressed. I absolutely hated getting up for work in the mornings. I love my clients, but I hated getting up for work because I was essentially spending my entire time in a fog of self-doubt. And you probably resonate with that too, right? But let's cut to the chase. I mean, this is now years on. You know how the story ends, or at least you know how the story's got to this point. I definitely, by a lot of people's standards, I've made it. I've done pretty well for myself. I have a very good life. I get to train the people that I love training. Like I said earlier, train the people I love training. I make the kind of money I always dreamed of making. I get to travel the world. Like I said, I'm in the Mojave National Park right now. It's beautiful. And people give me a lot of money for doing the work that I love. So my success isn't really a surprise necessarily. People know that I've done pretty well for myself. I'm a pretty happy guy. I love the work that I do. But maybe it's about time I kind of come clean on how I finally got there. And I don't think it's necessarily a surprise. I think most people kind of have some idea about it, but I don't know if I've ever kind of completely laid it out. And this secret wasn't really a secret after all. It was really as simple as this. If you go out into the world as yourself, if you have the balls, if you have the courage to actually stand up and let yourself be seen, and if you are ready, willing, and able to tell your story in a unique way that really touches the hearts of people, that really connects with them, that really makes them want to engage with you, then the world pretty much is your oyster. You can kind of have what you want. But I guess that's the problem, right? It's pretty difficult to be the kind of person who's suddenly going to be out there by yourself telling your story with all of that doubt and all that fear and all that concern about what people are going to think and, will it work and all the rest of it. And I guess for some people it feels a bit like throwing away the baby with the bathwater, right? Because clearly all of these other guys, their traffic systems work and their Facebook systems work and their social media systems work. But here's the thing, it works for them. And it works for them because they are the people that create them. It works for them because they're the people that are absolutely, genuinely, deeply in love with what they've created. But what about you? Are you as in love with those same Facebook scraping strategies? Are you as in love with those same email autoresponder series? In all likelihood, you're not, right? So the trick here, and ultimately what the Guru Project's about, is to find out not only what you want, and not only what you love, but your unique way of telling the story so that every single day you can get up with pride and with a great deal of desire and a great deal of passion and a great deal of love in your heart to actually go out there and tell it. So that there's not a single day when you wake up where you have to make yourself do something that you don't want to do, where you have to force yourself to do it. And that doesn't mean that we're going to throw away. It doesn't mean that you're never going to write an autoresponder. It doesn't mean that you're never going to use Facebook traffic. It doesn't mean that you're never going to use any of the systems that all of these experts have already been creating and becoming successful with. But what it does mean is that perhaps for the first time in your life, you're going to use them on your terms. You're going to use them as you. See, the current thing is this whole done for you idea. And it sounds really good when you first hear it, right? Done for you. All you got to do is pick up their system, plug it into your business. It's all done for you. And suddenly you're making money. But the reality is that the only business that's ever going to sustain, the only business that's ever going to be truly successful, and the only business that you're ever going to fall in love with enough to keep waking up day in, day out for year after year, decade after decade, is the one that's done by you. And that's what the Guru Project's about. Over the course of 10 days, the Guru Project is going to take you system after system, story after story, stage after stage, through creating the business of your dreams, because it's built literally on your dreams. Now that might sound corny to you, that might sound a little bit like kind of salesy hype and all the rest of it, but I absolutely promise you, nothing about the Guru Project is hypey, nothing about the Guru Project is corny. See, I'm not going to spend 10 days telling you exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. But at the end of 10 days, you're going to leave having done it all anyway. And you're going to leave having done it in a way that works better than it's ever worked before. So look, if anything I've said in this video has resonated with you, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for the video that's coming tomorrow, where I'm going to go into a bit more depth and explaining exactly how the program works, all the things we're going to cover, and how we're going to get you to walking away at the end of 10 days with a business that you absolutely adore and that has absolutely every system plugged in, dialed in a way that makes you feel fantastic. So keep an eye out for tomorrow's video. It's getting a bit dark here, so I guess I better find my way out of this national park before I actually get lost. Check out the video tomorrow. Until then, take care.